A guy's league can be both a good and a bad thing? What if I also told you it's impossible to determine which one is which unless you first know how it presents itself in a relationship? That's exactly why on today's show we're going to be discussing 6 things guys do when he thinks you're out of his league. That way, when the strange behavior presents itself, you know exactly why it's happening. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. How is the entire classroom doing? So good to see you here on this Tuesday afternoon. Yes, it's Tuesday afternoon for me. Maybe not for you. Maybe another time for you. How are you all doing? Who we gotten up in the TikTok chat here? We got Trina here, Moma here, Mimi here, Mia here, M here, Sid here, Lebanese Princess is here, Emmy is here, okay, Rosemary is here, and of course we have our 3 moderators, Sharice, SH, and Scotty here. Who we got up in the TikTok chat? I see Cecilia's here, Tracy now is one of our channel members is here, Features is here, Deb is here, Andrea is here, Mary Kim is here, Jazz is here, Nicole Cottom, one of our amazing channel members, and generous channel members, Great Fortune Cookie is here, our channel member, Ivy is here, one of our OG channel members. Welcome all you beautiful, beautiful people, and of course we have Miss America holding down our TikTok or YouTube and TikTok chat. Okay, as the principal. Welcome all you beautiful people. Let's get started today. How was your night last night? Did you guys do anything interesting? Okay, where every show, I want you guys, after we do the introduction, everyone tell me what happened in your night last night. You guys know I'd be reading the back, so I'm nosy. I want to see what's going on in your life. Nothing going on in my life except teaching y'all, okay? That's the gist of my life, teaching y'all and then preparing to teach y'all again, all right? Let's hop into point number 1. So we're going to be talking about 6 different things that men do when they think that you're out of their league, okay? A little tongue twister there. But what I want you to understand is the first 3 points are all going to be negative things because of a particular reason. I'm going to kind of write this down, then we'll explain why this is going to go in this particular way. Okay. So first things first is to humble you, all right? Now, like I said earlier, we're going to split this up into 2 parts. The first 3 are going to be the negative ways in which they can present themselves in a relationship with you when a guy thinks that you're out of his league. Because depending on the guy and depending on the type of person he is and how he'll take that, he can respond one of 2 ways. Either a way which is positive, at least positive for you, or a way which is negative, meaning negative for you. So we're going to go through both ways that this can manifest itself in a relationship. So we're going to start off with the first 3, which are going to be negative. Then we'll end up on a positive note. All right. So first things first. Oh boy, this is going to be so hard for me to do because you guys know I can't draw. So all right, we're going to bear through the first little part of this. All right. Let's imagine. Have you ever, chat, tell me in the chat, have you guys ever played Mario Kart before? Let me know, those of you in the chat that have played Mario Kart before. Let me know in the chat. Let me know who your favorite character is in Mario Kart, because it actually has to do with what we're going to be discussing here, okay? Now, something very important that I want us to be thinking about, right? In this scenario that I want to discuss with you guys. So men will attempt, when they notice that you're out of their league, some of them will attempt to humble you, okay? And the reason that they're going to attempt to humble you is because they understand that if you recognize how amazing you actually are, if you begin to see the value in yourself, or in the process of you being with him, you're able to kind of see the light of how everyone else views you, it's going to be very bad for him. So what some men will attempt to do, have you ever met a bully before, right? You know how bullies act. They'll attempt to humble you, okay? Specifically by making comments towards you about how not amazing you are, okay? Now, the reason I have this drawn out here, this little visual, okay? You guys know I can't draw. But this little visual here is because we're going to imagine kind of like a Mario Kart scenario, okay? So imagine you have the finish line up here, okay? And you guys are both going in this direction, right? You're trying to get towards the race. And in this race, you're in first, right? And he's in second, okay? Now, in the process of this race, as you guys are both heading towards this finish line, and he can see that you're getting very close and you're going to beat him in this race, he attempts to throw, oh boy, I'm trying to think of how to draw this real nice. I can't draw it real nice, so we're just going to draw it real bad, okay? It's just going to look like that. All right, do you guys know what this is? If you know we're talking about Mario Kart, do you know what I'm trying to draw here? Oh boy, this is so bad. It's so bad. It looks so bad. Nobody's going to know what this is. What do you guys think this is that I just drew here? Nobody's going to understand, all right? So this is a banana peel, okay? I know I can't draw. It's okay. We're still learning here. It's a banana peel because in Mario Kart, for those of you who don't know, you can throw banana peels and things in front of people to trip them up. Someone said a palm tree. No, I'm not that bad. Am I that bad? Okay. It's a banana peel. And the reason he's going to throw, let me draw this better. This is going to bother me. Because you guys are going to make fun of me. Tomisin, you can't draw. Why are you such a bad drawer? You need to go to art class, Tomisin. We can't pay attention when your drawing is this bad. Whatever. All right. So it's a banana. Oh, now it looks worse. It's a banana peel. And the purpose of the banana peel, in all seriousness, is meant to trip you up. Okay? It's meant to trip you up so that he can eventually pass you, like they do in Mario Kart. Now, the reason I want to give you this little bit of a visual is because that's what the men who are trying to humble you, when they realize that you're out of their league, are attempting to do. They want to trip you up and stop you from progressing. And I know this might sound really silly. How is he making comments towards me about the things that I'm not, or constantly dissing me? How is that going to stop me from progressing in life? It's going to kind of eat away at your mental. That's what he's trying to do. Because if you start to get a big head and actually believe in your own hype, what might eventually happen if you're truly out of his league is that you might realize that you can do a lot better than him. Or you might realize that you deserve a lot better than him. That's not something that a man who's trying to bring you down to his level is going to be doing, especially if it's manifesting itself in a negative way in your relationship. He's trying to humble you to bring you back down to earth, throw a banana peel in front of you so that you don't realize your worth, you don't realize how much you deserve, and you don't realize that he may or may not be treating you the way that you deserve to be treated, or as good as some other men would treat you. And so this becomes a way of tripping you up and getting you to forget how amazing you are. Okay, so what's an example of some of the comments someone might make to humble you? So for example, anytime that you are, thinking to yourself, oh, damn, I think I look good today, right? Instead of him agreeing with you, a way to humble you is to say, you look decent. You kind of, when you do your makeup, you kind of look a little bit, too bright. I don't really know if I like it. It's not really my style. I mean, you got this thing on and you just kind of look a little bit ridiculous. Don't you feel a little bit ridiculous? And these are the type of comments that a man who's trying to humble you will say to you when he's trying to trip you up. Because he doesn't want you to start believing too much in your own hype. Even if he believes that you're beautiful, even if he believes that you're pretty, he doesn't want to let you know that, and he doesn't want to give you that. I know that this sounds very rude and very mean. You're thinking, Tomisin, what type of evil person would ever do that? Tell me in the chat, because I don't just want it to be my experience and then, I'm just talking out of my butt. Tell me in the chat if you've ever experienced being with a man who will attempt to humble you at every chance that he gets, to make sure that you never feel too big that you think you're bigger than the program. He always wants to bring you back down to earth, even if it's in the smallest, slightest little comment or side comment, to let you know that you're not that amazing. In fact, you're very regular. You're just like everyone else. In fact, you might even be a little bit below average, if anything, okay? Right? I see a lot of people saying, yeah, this is me, okay? So the reason that I say that is because that's what they're attempting to do in that scenario, okay? They're trying to humble you to bring you back down to earth. Does that make sense to you guys so far? And why that is important to take notice of when you're in relationships, right? And understand if guys are trying and attempting to do that to you or with you in their relationship with you. Why is that looking like that on the screen? Anyways, all good in the YouTube chat? I seen something weird on the screen there. Just want to make sure everything a-okay for all you beautiful people. Let's hop into point number 2, okay? This is going to sound funny, And sometimes I do be making up these terminologies, but I promise you they're actually rooted in something real. So when you first hear it, you might think to yourself, this doesn't make any sense to me, Thompson. It sounds like you're just making this stuff up. But I promise you, they're really happening. Okay, point number 2 is the praise stomp. Okay, I know this sounds pretty funny. Now, in a praise stomp, what men are attempting to do here is, this is really interesting. So you're here and I can't draw you. Today, what we're gonna go with is the Jennifer Aniston straight hair, okay? You got straight hair today. Some days it's curly, today it's straight. You're here with your triangle body, all right? And your skinny legs. And the praise stomp is effective for this reason. If you ever get into a scenario in which people are giving you praise, okay? So for example, a guy comes up to you when you and this guy that you're talking to are at a party. And at this party, this guy says, "Oh my God, that dress looks amazing on you," right? Or a girl comes up to you at this party and says, "Girl, where did you get that outfit? It literally fits you like a glove." And this is what will happen when these people are praising you. You'll begin to see yourself, let me try you nice and big here. You'll begin to see yourself in a mirror, right? And when people praise you, what you'll see in that mirror after a while is the way that everyone is complimenting you and telling you how amazing that you are. So when you look in that mirror, right, you're gonna see a princess. Okay, that's why you got a little crown there, okay? You're gonna see a princess because that mirror that you're gonna see in your reflection, I'm talking about the emotional mirror, right? The reflection that you're gonna see in that mirror is gonna consist of all the praise that everyone else has been giving you. Let me write it on top here, right? The mirror, right? And all of that praise that people have been giving you is going to cause you to see this really elegant, amazing, beautiful, vibrant person in that mirror. But here's the problem. See, if this is manifesting itself in your relationship, you being out of his league in a negative way, and he's insecure about this, what's going to happen is you're here with your Jennifer Aniston haircut today, and as you receive that praise instead of that mirror, right, showing back to you a princess, what he's going to attempt to do is he's going to stomp on that praise anytime he notices you're getting a little bit too much. Similar to humbling you, right? Instead of it being a direct comment towards you, just between you and him, he can't control when other people come across you, notice your beauty, your vibrance, your radiance, your energy, your aura, and they compliment that, right? He can't control that. But what he wants to do is make sure that that praise that other people are giving you doesn't get to go to your head. That you don't start to actually believe in the fact that, oh, other people see me, other people recognize me, and because of that, because of the praise I receive, it builds me up. Because I realize how valuable I am. Okay? And when I realize how valuable I am, I see a princess in that mirror. But the problem is, if you're out of his league and he wants to continue humbling you, he doesn't want you to see a princess in the mirror. And so all of these people building up your ego, gassing you up, telling you how amazing you are, is going to force you to see a princess in the mirror. And at some point, you might say to yourself, this princess in the mirror does deserve her a prince. And if I'm not going to be able to receive a prince, and I'm not getting that right now in my relationship, well, maybe I should change my partners. Maybe I should change the type of people I'm around. Maybe this guy isn't the guy for me. But remember, you're out of his league and he doesn't want you to realize that. So what he wants to do is he wants to stomp on that praise. So when that person comes up to you and that girl comes up to you and says, "Oh my God, girl, where did you get that dress? This is the most amazing dress I've ever seen in my life. The way you wear it, the way you put it on, I've never seen anyone wear a dress like that before." He says, "You should have seen her last night when she had no makeup on and she was eating Cheetos. She didn't look that great then, right? Ha ha ha. Isn't that funny? Don't you remember last night you had Cheetos all over your face and it was the orange stuff in the puff and you had it on the remote controller? No, last night, no, she definitely wasn't looking like that. And he'll make a joke out of you. And you'll be thinking to yourself, what type of joke is that? It's not a joke, right? It's a diss disguised as a joke. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to bring you back down to earth, right? It's another version of humbling, except in this sense, instead of making a comment directly towards you, he's stomping on the praise that you do get. That way, instead of you looking in the mirror and seeing a princess, when you look in that mirror, you see someone who's very sad and is more like, what can I draw on top of your head to make you look really dusty? Okay. We'll put rain in front of you, on you, right? Instead of you seeing a princess, you're going to see this dusty old peasant, okay, right? You're going to see this peasant here that's so dusty, so old, so insignificant, because anytime someone tries to give you praise, he makes sure to stomp on that praise immediately, like a fire, okay? And when he does that, he brings you back down to earth so you're not thinking too much about yourself for too long. I know that this sounds very dark, but I do have to be honest with you because different men will respond to this differently, okay? And when they notice that you're out of their league, not all of them are going to be super ecstatic about the idea that you are so much better than them, especially when they know that and they know that other people know that, okay? For some people's ego, it's too much to handle when they realize that you're that much more out of his league, okay? All right. Does that make sense to you guys so far and why that's important, okay? Just something to think about and recognize, especially if you're in a relationship or have been in one and you've noticed these things happening, okay? If I'm speaking about any of these points and you're like, oh, that one really resonates with me, there's a reason for that, right? These aren't coincidences. I didn't make them up out of thin air. I made them from real human being experience. That's why we're all here. All right, let's hop into point number 3. And this is going to be the last negative point until we start to get to the more positive points. At least they're positive for you, okay? All right. Point number 3. You guys still with me? Let me know if you're still with me. Point number 3. There we go. Okay. Point number 3, discouragement. Now, what I want us to kind of understand here is there's a very particular type of discouragement that men who notice you're out of their league are going to be attempting to do. Okay. And we're going to discuss this. See, the discouragement I'm talking about is the discouragement to build yourself up and better yourself so that you have a better life, right? And you have a better quality of life. Now, what does that really mean when you're doing that, right? You're trying new things, you're going out places, you're enjoying your life, you're having other sources of happiness outside of just him and the relationship. And so what's going to begin to happen when you start trying new things, right? You're going to connect with all of these different people, right? You're going to have friends over here, and you're going to have friends over here, and you're going to have friends over here. And all of these different people in your life will start to represent the way that you want to live your life. You know how they say, if you're hanging out with 4 millionaires, then you're going to be the 5th, right? And the company you keep is, about representative of who you are as a person. It's the same idea here. When you begin to better yourself and better your life, you're going to go to different places that are better, right? So the places you go will be better places, right? And the people you spend time with will be better. You got better people, right? And the things that you just do in general will be better. You'll have so much more improvement in your life and your quality of life. You'll begin to realize that the only thing that doesn't align with this new web, the only thing on the outskirts is the man. And you'll realize that all of these things in your life are beginning to move in the same direction. They're beginning to have cohesion. But the more they have cohesion and the more this web kind of becomes very clear and obvious to you of who you are and where you're going and what you're trying to be, it'll be a lot more obvious to you that this man is not in line with where you are, where you're going, and where you want to be. That's a problem for the guy who thinks that you're already out of his league. And so what he wants to attempt to do is discourage you from bettering your life too much, from trying too many new things, from going out there and discovering who you are, that you will eventually come to the realization that the person on the outskirts, the person that I don't need, the person that I need to get rid of, is actually the person who was originally the closest to me. Okay? And trust me, you might think, are men really that smart? Some of them really are. And they understand that if you get too much better and all these better things are beginning to come into your life and you're attracting all of these better things into your life, the one thing that's going to become very obvious is him. And him in the sense that he doesn't fit in to this new version of your life. If you continue getting better and better and better, what are you going to be continuing to do? Increasing the gap, right? And the distance between you and him, whether it be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? It could be as simple as you going to the gym. Let me tell you this, okay? As a little side note, you might think to yourself, oh, my man would love for me to go to the gym and get my dump truck really nice and have a really nice tight body. If I look like some of these girls that he follows on Instagram, he would love that. Some men will love that, okay? For sure. Some men will also respond negatively to that. Because when you start going to the gym and bettering yourself, they're going to realize two things. They're going to realize you're eventually going to become really hot. And the hotter you become, the farther away from him you're going to be, especially if he's not going to the gym. And the second thing he's going to realize is as you go to the gym, you're going to start surrounding yourself with healthier people, other people that go to the gym. And if he doesn't go to the gym, well, now what do you think's making him nervous? The fact that some of the men you're going to meet are going to be nice, strong, and buff. They're in the gym. They're lifting 3 plates like me. Going crazy. Okay? What do you think that's going to do to his ego? He's going to start thinking to himself, damn, the only plate I lift up is the one that I eat for dinner. She's over here in the gym meeting men that lift up 3 plates. Okay? I'm talking about 3 plates on each side, chat, not 3 plates total, all right? Now, and that's really going to be very painful for him, right? He's going to be very bothered by that. It's going to make him very insecure. So you're going to notice a lot of discouragement to improve your life when you are already out of a man's league, when he's responding to you the negative way, okay, right? Someone says I did 3 plates yesterday for leg press. I'm talking 3 plates on each side, and that's we're talking in pounds, so that's, I think 3 plates on each side was that 315? I've done 4 plates before. What's 4 plates on each side? It's like 410 or 425? Tell me in the chat. What's 4 plates on each side? 445 plates on each side, plus the bar, which is 45. I can't remember the math of 4 plates on each side. Anyways, we're not talking about my gym splits. Let's go on to point number 4, okay? Does that make sense to all of you so far, and why that is important? Okay. Someone said my gym crust deadlifts 5 plates. No, I'm talking about squat, chat, not deadlift. I'm talking about squat. I'd be squatting that. All right. Let's go on to point number 4. All right. So, I told you that the first 3 points were going to be something a little bit more negative. Now that we're getting into the second half, We're going to be talking about the more positive ways that this can present itself when a man thinks that you're out of his league, okay? Now, obviously, the word overcompensate doesn't sound very good and doesn't sound very positive, but what I'm talking about when I mean positive from the standpoint of how it manifests itself for you, okay? So let's imagine a scenario in which you're on a show of Survivor, okay? And on this show of Survivor, right, you have all of these different people on your Survivor team. And in order for you guys to be successful, okay, let's just imagine, we don't need to explain Survivor, it's a show where you're in the wild and you got to figure things out. So on your show of Survivor, you have all of these different players. So you got, let's say you got player 1, right? You got player 2. You got player 3. And you got player 4, no pun intended. So, but let's say in your team of 4 players here, right? You guys are on this episode of Survivor and you got to figure these things out. There's a whole bunch of challenges for you to get to in order to win this grand prize of $1,000. I don't even know if that's how the show really works. Okay, let's just imagine. On this show, though, if you guys are going to be on a team, it doesn't really make sense if every single person here is, let's say player 1, he's like me. He can squat 4 plates, 3 plates, however many plates, and he's super strong, right? And let's say person number 2 can do the exact same thing. He's really strong too. And person number 3 is a girl, but she's super strong too. They're all strong, right? That's good if you want to lift a couple of boulders, but what happens if all of these players are really strong and it comes time to like do something with directions, or it comes time to like do something that requires a little bit of thinking and planning? If all of them are strong, that's not really going to help anyone. So what's the team do in order to be a good team? If they're going to pick all of these different players, right? What they want to do is delegate responsibility to different strengths. So you want one person who's strong, then you want another person who's smart, then you want another person who's fast, okay? Then you want another person who, let's just say, is good with tools, right? And all of these different skill sets will allow them to combine to make to a really good team, okay? But if you're ever in a situation where, let's say for the sake of example, one of these people double, right? So there's 2 smart people and no one that's fast, right? You're going to have to figure out a way on this team to compensate for the links that are missing, the skill sets that are missing, or else you're not really going to be able to be successful in the challenges that you guys are going to face, especially the ones that require speed, whether it be running or some sort of endurance, right? Your team is going to have to compensate for the skill set that is missing. So you're probably asking me, Tomisin, what does any of this have to do with what we're talking about today about relationships and men who are out, that I'm out of their league? This is the thing. See, when men recognize that you're out of their league, they're going to do the same thing in which they're going to overcompensate, I should say, for the fact that they are below you. And because they're below you, they need to do more for you in order to make up for the fact that they are not on the same level as you. If you were to be in a line of women and he were to be in a line of men, and those people that were judging you were to take in all your character traits, your personality, your looks, and all the stuff about you, more men would flock towards you and choose you than women would flock towards him and choose him. Okay, I know I'm making this sound really, primitive, but that's not the point. My whole point being is the men will begin to treat you better in their relationship. Some of them, if it's on the opposite sense, when they realize that you're out of his league. Why? Because they need to overcompensate for the fact that you're that much more better than him. And your desirability in the dating market is that much higher than his, okay? So he understands if I don't overcompensate, if I don't put my best foot forward, then I'm probably gonna lose her. because she's going to recognize how much more desirable she is than me and how many suitable partners she has available to her and ready to do what is necessary for her. So if I'm not going to have that same level of desirability in a relationship or in a desirability sense, right, in a dating sense or romance sense, then I have to make sure I make up for the fact that I'm not as desirable as her by overcompensating and doing more for her. Now, the reason that I bring this point up is because I'm sure you've probably heard from some people, some of your favorite creators, in fact, that you should get a guy who likes you a little bit more, and you probably want to shoot for the men who are medium ugly. Tell me in the chat, have you ever heard that before from a content creator? That you should go for the guys who like you more, or you should go for a guy who's like on the medium ugly side, okay? Don't go for the pretty boys. Don't go for the guys who are super hot. Don't go for the guys who are 10 out of 10 in terms of looks and have everything put together, okay? Tell me if you've ever heard that before, okay? I want to see how many of you have been hearing that from other content creators, okay? I see a lot of yeses. Samantha says medium ugly guys will still break your heart. That's funny, right? So the reason that you hear that from those creators is because of this right here. When you're out of his league already from the start, you're already starting from a position of power. Remember, we talked yesterday about leverage and power dynamics and how at the beginning, when he comes to you and he wants to approach you and get to know you, that's when he has the least amount of leverage because you have the most amount of leverage. So what these creators that are telling you, find you a guy that likes you more, find you a guy that's a little bit medium ugly, they're attempting to help you and put you in a position where the men are going to overcompensate the entire relationship for the fact that they are a little bit medium ugly, they're a little bit less desirable than most men. And so because of that, they're always going to be trying to make it up to you, the fact that they're less desirable on the relationship and romance scale, right, in terms of how everyone else would value them. And so they make up for that by doing more for you. And when they do more for you, the thought process is that they're less likely to cheat, and they're less likely to step out, and they're more likely to do what you want them to do, right? As opposed to the super hot, super sexy men that can get anyone they want, that are super desirable because they're, at the first sign of trouble gonna run, okay? That's the thought process. I'm not telling you which one you should do, but that's the thought process, okay? So if you like medium ugly guys, then I'm sure this is like really good news to you. If you like pretty boys, then this probably is very disappointing to you. Tell me in the chat, you like pretty boys? Or you like the medium ugly guys? Tell me which one you're more fond of, all right? Let's hop into a number. Ivy said I don't trust ugly guys. Let's hop into number 5 here, okay? You guys are funny, right? Which one you guys like? Medium ugly or you like pretty boys, all right? There's more than pretty boys in medium ugly, but you get my drift. Let's hop into our 5th point. So we're doing 6 today. All right, point number 5, okay? Very interesting, this one, actually. Okay, so let's draw 2 different scenarios here. And we're gonna have you here and him here. This is gonna be really bad. So let's just get over it while we can. Let me draw the hair out for you. And let me draw his toupee, okay? So in this scenario, where both of you are very angry at each other, all right? If you guys get into this argument, right? And let's just say for the sake of example, he, let's say, ignores you, right? And he doesn't pay attention to your needs. He doesn't care about them. He just wants to go his own way, do his own thing, and be upset at you and angry at you. If you are already out of his league, there's a possibility that in the process of him ignoring you, let me put it properly here, there's a possibility that in the process of him ignoring you, after this argument, okay, let me even make it better for you guys to understand here in a visual sense. there's a possibility that in the process of this argument, if he were to ignore you, that this would end in a breakup. I don't like when it looks like that. Sorry, my OCD chat. Sorry, my OCD chat. Sorry, my OCD chat. Okay, perfect. If there's a possibility that it could end in a breakup. Now, why am I saying this? Because forgiveness is such an important part of the process if he actually believes that you're out of his league. The reason I say that is because he has to, if we're talking about how this can manifest itself, and you guys are upset at each other and angry at each other and having this argument go on, he's a lot more inclined to forgive you so that you guys can get back together, okay? And the reason that I say that is because if you think about the logic here, if you're already starting off in a position of leverage where you're out of his league, and I'm probably making this really enticing to some of you, you're already in a position of power where you get to determine how things go, and if he doesn't like how those things go, then you will return to your dating market in which you're a very desirable woman and he might not be as desirable as a man. Meaning that if he were to go back to the dating market, there's a less likely chance that he'll get a woman as beautiful, amazing, and awesome as you. And there's a very likely chance that if you go back into the dating market, you'll get a man way better with more money, a bigger schlong, and can lift even more weight than he can, okay? So the reason I say that is because this can manifest itself in your relationships with a man who is more forgiving of the things that you do. Even when you do make a mistake, even when maybe you're, instead of an argument, you're actually the one in the wrong. I know that this sounds horrible. I'm just giving you the facts. What can happen is he's more inclined to forgive you because he knows the option to ignore you, or let's just even say it's going to sound weird, to stand up for himself as well, right? Could lead to you saying, whoa, 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 whoa. You don't run things around here. You don't run a damn thing around here. If you think you're going to tell me what to do, how to act, how to think, how to walk, how to talk, this ain't gonna work. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. And so that process could lead to a breakup if you're so much more out of his league, right? And this is the thing. Sometimes in the relationships that you're gonna have with men, they're gonna be more inclined to forgive you because you're out of his league. So this can yield you, I know that this sounds horrible, but a whole lot of power in a relationship, because you can find yourself in a position where the guy that you're with is willing to do a lot for you, act on a lot of things for you, to move mountains for you, and willing to forgive you at any sign of trouble or even at the times where you're in the wrong, okay? This can give you a lot of power in your relationship. But obviously, you're trading in something for that. You're trading in the fact that, you're probably going to be going for a quote unquote lower tier man in order to get all of this power. Okay. Yeah, you can have some things, but you're not going to be able to have everything in life, right? You got to pick and choose. So you get a lot of power, forgiveness as well. You just won't be with the top of the top of the top of the top of the top. Okay. If you want that power, all of that power. All right, let's go on to our 6th point. Does that make sense to you guys so far? I know that it can sound a little bit toxic. Use that information how you want to use it, okay? So decide what you want. Would you rather power in your relationship, or would you rather have a super hot, pretty, amazing, awesome boy? Whichever one. I'm not saying you got to pick either one. Let's go on to point number 6, okay? Someone said, what happens when they're younger than you? If they're younger than you and quote unquote more naive than you, then that can be the same thing, basically. I'm not saying all young people are naive, but if they're a younger guy and they have less experience, then that happens, okay? So number 6. This makes me, oops, why did I draw that like that? This makes me laugh because I've seen this happen. So I just think it's funny because I'm thinking of a person. Okay, I'm thinking of a guy that I know. Let's imagine you here, but instead of us imagining you as a circle like we usually do, we're going to imagine you. You guys know what this is? We're going to imagine you as a magnet, okay? You a magnet, girl. You a magnet. You're a magnet today because in this visual that I want to give you, this is the thing that men who are understanding of the fact that you're out of his league will do. They'll tag along. The reason that they'll tag along is because they're not idiots. They know that if you go out into the market, right, even though you're just going out, right, whether it be to an event, a party, a house party, whatever, and you're alone, you're going to be like a magnet. A magnet to what? Take a wild guess, chat. Take a wild guess what you end up being a magnet to when you're so out of his league. What do you think these are? What do you think all of these are? I shouldn't have even labeled it. They're all men. You're a magnet to men. Look at you, drawing in all these men. They can't help themselves. They're falling all over you, left and right, okay? All of these hundreds and hundreds of men. I'm sure some of you love that, all right? So the reason that I say that is because these men, especially the ones that can recognize that you're out of his league, which guys can recognize if you're out of their league, they will have the desire to tag along with you at every chance they can possibly get. So this man, you're a magnet over here. We're going to put him right in the middle of your circle here, right? We're going to put in your man. He's going to want to be right on your hip pocket at every chance he gets, because he understands if he allows you to go out by yourself too much, then you'll start recognizing how much attention you can get from men. What's also going to happen in this process, because remember, you're out of his league. What's going to happen in this process as you're attracting all of these different men, some of these men will be really rich, really powerful. They're able to squat 3-4 plates, maybe even 5, right? They're just overall better specimens, better humans, better options than him. And the thing about it is, if you spend a lot of time being beautiful and pretty, but not a lot of time putting yourself out there, and this is a time in your life where you're starting to better yourself and explore more, the more you put yourself out there, even if it's not to date people or meet people that you want to get romantic with, you'll start recognizing how attractive you are to the outside world based on how much you're getting approached by the outside world. And in the process of that, some of these men will be much better partners than your man. But he doesn't want that if he already thinks that you're out of his league. He doesn't want you to realize that there are so many other better options than him. So what is he going to do? He's going to take every chance he can to take work off because he wants to come with you to that party. He wants to, change his shift because he wants to make sure he can go with you to that work event. He wants to tag along with the girlfriends whenever the girlfriends are going out, even though it's supposed to be a girls' night. He wants to be there sitting right next to you, okay? And the reason for that is because he wants to make sure you don't get too many chances to go out and be a magnet to all of these men, some of whom might actually be some really good options. Okay, I know that sounds kind of toxic, and I know that sounds kind of strange to like kind of hoard someone like that, but I have to be honest with you because this is a response that some men will give you when they recognize that you are out of their league, as strange as it might sound. Okay, someone said that's sick. It does happen. Okay, let me know in the chat actually, have you ever felt this before? Where your man seems to be purposely tagging along on everything that you do, and it almost feels like he's trying to hoard you, okay? Instead of be with you, he's trying to make sure no one else gets a chance to talk to you or see you. It's different from being protective. He's not being protective in the sense that, oh, I'm protective over her. It's like he's trying to keep you so no one else is able to see the gem that you are. Because if they see it, they might actually recognize that you deserve a lot and be willing to offer you a lot. And then when you get offered a lot by those men, you'll realize you're probably not getting a lot from that man. Okay? Someone said that's jail. It is kind of like jail in a sense. Okay? Unfortunately, it is kind of like that. All right? Does that make sense to all of you so far? And why that is so important. Now, do you guys have any questions about the 5 that we just discussed here? Okay? Now, if I said 5, 6. We did 6. Okay. I forgot we did an extra one, right? If you guys are on TikTok and you didn't get a chance to see some of the points, or you want to rewatch them, or you missed some, and you're like, hey, Tomisin, I want you to repeat all of them step by step. I just got here. Go onto my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is just above my head on the top right corner of the screen there. You go onto my YouTube channel, type in my name, and I'm live on YouTube at the same time as I'm live on TikTok. Someone said, yes, master. Okay. You go on my YouTube channel at the same time that I'm live on TikTok. And you go there and you can rewatch it, you can rewind it, and all that good stuff. All right. Why you guys be calling me master? Okay, that's all right. Is that a new thing? Is that a Gen Z thing? All right. So do you guys have any questions about the 6 that we just discussed? Right. I hope that makes sense. Kind of a strange one, because you're thinking to yourself, oh, damn, guys be thinking I'm out of their league. How does that happen? It does happen. Okay. And it's precisely why some of the people in your life, some of the men that you meet in your life will be either trying to humble you, right? Trying to like downgrade you, or they'll be trying to do the absolute most for you. Okay. Right. It can happen in both senses. Okay. Ascension says, no, Daddy Tom, no more questions. It's Daddy Tom now. Someone said Papa Smurf. Someone said Daddy Tom. Someone said Master. You guys are full of you're full of names. Okay. Right. Oh, Ashley said my ex said I could do better, then turned around and showed me. Showed you what? Like he showed you that you could do better? Like you actually were able to see it there? That's crazy. Someone said not Papa Smurf. Yeah. That's one of the nicknames they gave me. T says, even a girl, oops, let me scroll up here. Even a girl who is out of his league, some ugly, still act like they're smart because maybe they have some cash. Well, that's the thing. Being out of someone's league is not just about the looks in a sense, right? It's also about the whole person overall. So think about it from the standpoint of what makes you desirable as a woman, not just your looks or your dump truck, right? Overall, what makes you desirable as a woman versus what makes him desirable as a man overall. So obviously not just his looks. You're going to factor in his financial status, his resources, his house, his car, how charismatic he is, how tall he is. A lot of that matters to a lot of you, right? So those are all part of the things that you're factoring in when you're thinking of, oh, are they in the same league, or is one person in a way different league than the other? Okay. A lot of times when you just meet someone, you can see the difference, and you can tell that, one person is shooting above their pay grade there. All right. Great Fortune Cookie says in the TikTok chat, or sorry, in the YouTube chat, she says, how would a guy who you are not dating, for instance, a crush, act if he thinks you are out of his league? Thank you, Tommy. So in the sense, it's the same thing. It's the same thing because the guy that you're dating can give you either one of the extremes, which is actually exactly why I wanted to make sure that I cover both sides, because I know some people might say, well, if he thinks you're out of his league, that'll be absolutely perfect, and he'll respond exactly how you want him to respond. No, he won't necessarily always respond exactly how you want him to respond. By the way, Great Fortune Cookie, thank you so much for the donation, and thank you to those of you who donated on TikTok as well, right? He's not always necessarily going to respond to you exactly how you want him to respond. Or exactly how you're anticipating he'll respond if you're that much more out of his league. Some men will notice this and they'll try to bring you back down to earth, okay? It depends on his personality. It depends on how secure or insecure he is. And it also depends on what he wants out of the situation, right? Some men could be a narcissist, right? Could be just, have a bully type of personality. And when they see you doing better, instead of him trying to do better for you, or overcompensate by doing good for you, instead he tries to bring you back down to earth, belittle you, make you feel really small in order to never allow you to thrive, type of thing. So it can happen in both ways and in both senses. The reason I give you and we have this show is to help you understand and recognize that if it's happening in your relationship, you'll be aware that it's happening. Are you following me, right? So if you're in a relationship and you're realizing that, damn, I can see actually that he's really overcompensating because I'm out of his league, then you get to say to yourself, do I want this to continue? Do I like the feeling of this? Do I like having this much power, right? Vice versa, if you're noticing, I'm out of this guy's league, but why is he talking to me like this? I'm giving him a chance by even dating him. So why is he treating me like this? It's easier to pull yourself out of that because that can become a trap in itself that you start to wonder, what's wrong with me? I'm actually out of his league and I gave him a chance. Now he's treating me like trash. But then by the time he starts treating you like trash, you start thinking in your own head, why is he treating me like this? Why doesn't he like me? And then that's what actually makes you more invested in that guy. Okay. And then you can find yourself in a loop, in a weird spiral loop, where the guy that you were out of his league is the guy that you're most obsessed with because he's made you feel like something's wrong with you. So now you've been chasing after his approval. That's like a whole thingy thing that I just explained in like 30 seconds. But you get my gist. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Right? 1111 said, but he knew all along. Is sometimes they be knowing. They be knowing. It's not hard to gauge. See, men aren't dumb. Right? We always say they're a little bit emotionally stunted. They're not dumb though. What I mean by that is they're not only able to gauge your desirability in the dating market, they're also able to gauge their own desirability in the dating market, okay? At least most men are. Meaning, when they look at another man, they see what he looks like, how he dresses, what his status is, what his resources are. Most men can look at another man and say, oh yeah, he's at the top of the food chain, so to speak, right? They can also see another man and go, oh no, he's at the bottom of the food chain. He's not going to be getting any girls. Right? And they also know for themselves, based on what they see in the mirror, based on what they know their life to be like, based on what they know themselves to be capable of, they know around where they sit, if they're really honest with themselves, they know around where they sit in that desirability scale. So when they meet you, or they meet any other woman, they are able to gauge in the process of meeting you where you kind of sit on that desirability scale. So I say all that to say, men are aware of that. Whether we want to call it a conscious awareness or a subconscious awareness, they're aware of where they sit on the desirability scale as it relates to the opposite sex and how they feel about them, and where you are on that scale as well. Okay, does that make sense? Melanie says, I gave him a chance. You gave him a chance, and what happened? I hope good things, right? Chat, let me know. Are you guys more fond of, because I didn't get a chance to see it before, are you more fond of going the medium ugly route and having more power in your relationship? Or do you like getting with like a pretty boy or a guy that's really desirable, but you just know you're not going to have as much power necessarily in the relationship? And I don't mean it from the standpoint of like you'll have no power and you'll get walked all over, but it won't be the same as being served hand and foot by the medium ugly guy. Which one would you guys rather, right? The medium ugly with more power, or the pretty boy, the really desirable, handsome guy, right? A lot of resources with less power. There's no judgment. I'm just curious which one you guys are more fond of, okay? I see Sarah in the YouTube chat. She says more desirable. I see someone said medium ugly. I see a lot of people saying medium ugly. Pretty boy with less power. Okay, interesting. The thing is, you have to decide for yourself what matters more to you. And number two, even if you get a pretty boy and you have less power, you can still use the strategies that we talk about in the Players Club to gain some of that leverage and soak up as much power as you can possibly get. Because you don't want to make the mistake of getting with the pretty boy or the really desirable boy and you have no power. You don't want that. Or you have no leverage, right? You don't want that. You want to be able to still be able to hold your own despite being with a guy who's really desirable. That way you still have at least a little bit of leverage. So that's kind of what the Players Club is about, is understanding even when I like a boy, even when I like a man, and I really want him, I sees him and I want him, I still don't lose my marbles and put myself in a situation where I have no power, right? Or I present myself as if, I'm begging or super needy for him. Because that way I keep my leverage and I keep the balance of power in a place that's healthy. Instead of him being this super desirable man and everyone wants him, and I'm this like poor lonely little girl with no power because I have no desirability, because I need him and I want him and I have no leverage. Okay, we don't want that for you. Ivy says more desirable, right? I see a lot of you guys saying, a lot more of you are saying, pretty and more desirable than I even imagined, right? Okay. Oh, Nicole said, did you see my question? Let me make sure I go to your donation. Nicole donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, will a guy act uninterested if he thinks you're out of his league? Make you a friend or an option? Not necessarily in a mean way, just why try? So that's actually a great question, Nicole. If a guy sees you as out of his league, there are different possible options here. One of the good options, we'll say, for men who recognize that you're out of his league is he understands if he goes right up to oh, I want to date you, I want to be with you romantically, and you're really out of his league, and you also know your worth, and the type of guys you date are not him, he's not dumb. So what some guys will do is they'll say, oh, instead of me just overtly saying I want her, I'll create a friendship out of this. And in the process of me creating a friendship out of this, this is like, as the kids would say, this is my back door into being with her. Because if I can create this friendship first, make it seem like I don't even want her anyways, I can get, into her emotions, into her feelings. I can get closer to her. And one day, one faithful day, when she's lonely and all the pretty boys and all the rich boys have tossed her to the side, thrown her to the wolves, or abandoned her, I'll come in like a shoulder to cry on, and I'll be there for her, and I'll sneak in the back door as someone who she would have never looked at in a million years because I'm nowhere near her league. Okay? So to answer your question, some guys will make a friend out of you, okay? Because you're out of their league. That's the thing that happens, which is honestly why I just advise you, don't try to be having these, oh, we're best friends, friendships, okay? Not that you can't have friends who are guys, but I advise you against the best friendship with a guy because I don't want to rant, okay? We'll be here all day. Guys will do when it comes to the friendships, there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconceptions you guys have about guys who want to be your friend, okay? Because it's not what you think. And the horrible part about that is the guys who are in that position, they will never ever admit to that, okay? They'll go to the grave with the fact that they just genuinely want to be your friend, okay? And they probably could pass a lie detector test in the sense that they really believe it. They probably couldn't pass a lie detector test, but they really, really believe it to their core. They want to convince themselves it's not about my attraction to you. It has nothing to do with how you look. It has nothing to do with the fact that you have the biggest dump truck in this entire room, okay? It has everything to do with how much I care for your friendship. It's lies, okay? It's lies. Guarantee you, the women with the most amount of men who want to be their friend are the beautiful, awesome looking supermodel type of women. The women with huge dump trucks. The girls with huge dump trucks, they always have a lot of men trying to be their friend. 100%. Trying to pull the chair out for them, trying to message them all day, trying to check up on them. Guys love checking up on the girls with huge dump trucks. I'll tell you that look amazing. Okay, not so fond of checking up on the people who are ugly and disgusting. That doesn't hit the same for them. All right, Nicole also donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, "Will you please do an entire show about guy friends?" Do you guys want me to do an entire show about guy friends? That would just be me ranting the entire time because that pees me off, right? That actually makes me really mad, I won't lie, because I've seen so many women get, fall victim to that. And I've also seen a lot of, relationships get ruined because of the guy friend. And it's just something that you have to come to accept in life and in relationships. Guys don't operate, they just don't work like that. I'll just rant the whole show. You guys want me to just rant the whole show? It's not gonna be fun. Because the guy friend thing is something that I think a lot of people just get confused. Friends in a casual sense, you can have friends as coworkers. You can have friends in a casual sense that you're like, hey, how you been? You keep up with them and things like that. But when we're talking about a best friend as a guy, that's just not a thing. It's not a thing, and we could argue with it forever. It's just not a thing. The guys don't have desire. We talked about this actually in a couple shows ago. The funnel of, I guess we could say, desire. They don't ever have the curiosity to get to know you enough to even know that you have an amazing personality that they would want to be your friend if you don't first spark their interest in terms of your physical attractiveness. Men don't go around saying, oh my gosh, I'm scanning the room, I don't know any of these people, and I want to make friends out of the girl I find the most unattractive. It doesn't work like that. Their desire to even get to know who you are and how amazing that you are first comes when, assuming they don't know you and have no connection to you, it first comes from their desire for your physical attraction, right? because your physical attraction is what makes them say, oh, she looks good. She looks friendly. That's what they really mean. She looks friendly, right? She looks good. I'm open to having a conversation with her and getting to know her a little bit better. All right. And now, when he finally meets you and comes up to you and has a conversation with you, then he realizes you have an amazing personality and you're so awesome. And then he wants to be your friend now. You see how that works, right? But it doesn't start by him saying, oh, I'm unattracted to her, but that's the girl I want to go up and make friends out of. That doesn't make sense for guys. It honestly just doesn't. I know it sounds weird, but it just doesn't make sense for us as guys. Nicole says, I've always been confused about the friendship thing. Right? Ivy says, if I don't want to kiss him, it's a no. It's a no in the sense of what? In the sense of what? Kelly says, every man I ever thought was my friend turned out to be turned around and tried with me every time. I'm telling you. Some of you may have not come to that place in your life yet or that realization. And the thing about it is, too, I don't want you guys to think when I say guys aren't your friend, I don't want you to think that your idea or version of your friendship isn't true, because you might genuinely not have feelings for him. And the friendship might genuinely be platonic, even though I always think there's some things at play. But for you, the friendship might actually be platonic, and it might actually not be about being with him, okay, romantically. But I can assure you, the guys don't want to be your best friend on an ongoing basis, talking to you all the time, calling you, texting you all the time, for no reason. They just don't put energy and effort and investment into women, at least, unless they have that desire for them, that attraction towards them. Or else, if you're such a great guy friend, if you're like one of the boys, they can literally get exactly what they get from you from a boy, from another man. And actually, the friendship would be even better because that man would better understand him, right? And understand what he's going through, right? It sounds weird and it sounds really strange, but it just, like if he's telling you you're such a great guy friend or you're so much like one of the guys, then why doesn't he just be with the guys? Why does he want to be with you? Because he wants feminine qualities? That's not wanting to be with one of the guys. That's wanting feminine qualities. And if he wants feminine qualities, then what is he actually saying? He's actually kind of saying he has attraction to you. Because what does it mean to be a heterosexual straight man, masculine man, who's attracted to feminine women? And I'm saying, I like you over my guy friends because you're more feminine. So you like me then? No, I just like you as a friend. Okay. All right, anyways, I don't want to rant anymore. Let's go on to the next segment of the show, which is our react segment of the show, where I'll be reacting to TikToks that you guys have sent to me, and we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to have some conversation about this. While I clean up the board and get ready for our next segment of the show, let me tell you all, if you have a private question for me, or you have a question you want me to answer about your situation or a friendship that you're having, like we just talked about, I'll rant about it, okay? Any of you that have a question that you want my advice on of your situation or your relationship or whatever ship, you can send it to me by going to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Click where it says private relationship advice, and you can send in your message. Type it out as long as you want, as many paragraphs as you want. I made it nice and easy for you all. Type it in your notes, copy it and paste it in there, however you want to do it. And you send in your message to me, and I will respond to you with a voice message. I usually do like 10-minute voice message. I'd be going off, all right? Breaking it down. I'd be doing like this, but for you in private. And you can send me in a message there, and I'll respond to you with a voice message, and then I send it back to your email. No one else sees it, just between me and you. So it's like a one-on-one chat, but it's not like, it's not live, obviously. I'm just going to send you a voice message. So,
person, and you're an anxiously attached person. He doesn't text you enough. He doesn't do enough. He's not there.
Chat, are you avoidant, anxious, secure? What's your attachment style? I want to know.
Enough. He doesn't communicate enough. You are left feeling high and dry a lot of the time, and he used to do a lot, but he doesn't do a lot anymore. This is the avoidant person. This cup represents them. This cup represents you. The water inside represents the amount of love, attention, communication, everything they have to give you. This is them giving it to you. What's happened? You are not fulfilled. There's a gap there. You're not fully fulfilled. So what do? You nag them. You haven't given me enough. You don't want to talk to me. You don't always reply to me. You don't plan dates. You don't do this. But what's happened here? They're empty. They've got nothing more to give. They are feeling incredibly overwhelmed because you seem to look like you're never satisfied and always nagging. Right. Let's look here. This is you, the anxious person, the one who has a lot to give. and you want to give it all to this poor avoidant person. Not poor avoidant person, but they're always criminalized about being avoidant. But let's just see. You're going to give them all the love and attention you've got to give, and what happens here? You end up engulfing them. They literally feel like they are drowning by your love and attention. So avoidant people don't always express how they feel about that, but it feels literally like drowning in someone's attention. And at first it feels nice because they're
Okay, I'll be a little bit honest with you, chat. I'm more of an avoidant type of person. And I'm prone to feeling smothered by people a lot. Okay. So I'm telling you, because some of you would be wondering how these guys think, right? As an avoidant person, I'm very sensitive to being smothered by someone. And it's not because I hate people. It's not because I don't like people. I need my space in order to exist. If I don't have my space in order to exist, I feel very put in a box, okay? And it's just it's off-putting for me. So I'm saying that to help you understand. These attachment styles are a function of your personality and your experiences. You have to accept that someone else's attachment style just might be different than yours. And in some cases might be the exact opposite of yours. The job for you is not to try to force your attachment style to be theirs. The job for you is to try to understand their attachment style and figure out how you can work with them to show them the things that they want while also receiving something for yourself. And there's going to be a compromise there. I can assure you, it's possible to be anxiously attached and also be with someone who is an avoidant. But there has to be an understanding of what's the balance between me getting enough from you that I feel the connection, but also me not smothering you with the fact that I want to be around you all the time, that you feel claustrophobic. Okay, does that make sense? It's always a balancing act.
They're pouring in, but then they're like blah, 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 drowning. What do? We find two people who have the same amount to give and take. That's really hard to do in every department, conversation, intimacy, all of it. It's hard to find.
What she's talking about is, well, you find someone just like you. That sounds easy in theory, and it's obviously in a perfect world, but it's also possible to find a balance between what works for you and what works for the other person. You, as an anxiously attached person, you might want to talk to your partner 24/7, all times of the day, and not spend more than 5 minutes between each text message. Now, are you going to be able to get that in every relationship? Probably not. But that doesn't mean you won't be able to have a successful relationship if there's not some sort of compromise there where some of the messages are happening frequently and at times you get that attention. But there are also times where you have to kind of, just work with your anxiety and realize that everything will be okay, right? But there's a balance there.
Someone exactly the same as you. This is what I would do if I were you. You love your avoidant person. Look, I know it because you write to me. It's not always a solution to...
Is that a Cartier bracelet that she just flexed on us? Sorry, I got sidetracked. That's a Cartier bracelet, chat. Am I confused?
Look, I know it because you write to me. It's not always a solution to say, find somebody else. Like, people aren't disposable. So you have been given everything that this person has to give you. And now you do this. Friends, pets, kids, hobby, project. You need to learn how much that person has to give you and appreciate what they can do for you. But look, I'm not advising you to be with a neglectful person who completely doesn't prioritize you and has no time for you. You need to differentiate between the two and have some wisdom to do so. But if a person genuinely loves you and is giving you their all, you need to step aside and go, how can I fill my cup? So you're with an avoidant.
Yeah, so that's the one I think that a lot of people get confused. And tell me if this is confusing for you, chat, right? Do you get a little bit confused with the difference between an avoidant person and someone who's just not interested in you? Because I understand that can be something that is hard to know the balance between, right? And the thing about it is, an avoidant person will still want you and still want to be with you, right? It's not that they don't want to be with you, but they need some space away from you so that they can continue on an ongoing basis to want you and desire to be with you. Avoidant people, they come back. Avoidant people, they do show interest. It's just not going to be all the time 24/7. Okay. And it's not always going to feel like they want to be in your skin and live inside of your body. Okay. That's okay, though. Some people are a little bit different in the way they express their love and the frequency to which the intensity of their love will be expressed. Some people can love you and they're looking calm and cool as a cucumber. Some people can love you and they want to literally start swimming inside your mouth and be in your body. Okay, everyone's a little bit different in that sense.
I just want somebody to hold my shrimp. I know I don't ask for much. I just want somebody to hold my shrimp. I know it's curly. I know. I just want some.
What is he what shrimp is he talking about? Is he talking about shrimp that you eat? Or are you talking about the...
Nobody never want to hold my shrimp. I just want somebody to love my shrimp. I know it's curly. I know it's not that thick. But I
What shrimp is he talking about, chat?
just want somebody to love it. Love it for what it looked like. I know it's a little shrimp. I just know. But somebody just hold it. Touch it. Love it. Love it for who it is.
Is this Gen Z's version of content? This is content for Gen Z. Why is this why is the B-roll of this in nature? Is this supposed to be, is this like a Martin Luther King speech on TikTok? This is TikTok Martin Luther King version? What is this? This is Gen Z Martin Luther King. This is Gen Z Profound Speak. This is Gen Z Jordan Peterson, Robert Greene. Is that what this is? I don't know.
Hell, I don't understand. Nobody wants to support my shrimp. It's not fair. It should not be about the size. It's not fair. I know it's real tiny, but it still have feelings. I just want.
I'm not sure if I can relate to this you know how they say hashtag relatable, like the kids say? I don't know if I can relate to this type of content. This type of content doesn't resonate with me for whatever reason. Okay, let's hop into the next one.
What if we hooked up and then just never spoke again? How about that? Wait, what if I treated you exactly like my girlfriend, made you feel very special, introduced you to everyone that I know, and then just never spoke to you again? How about that? Now hear me out. What if the girl I told you not to worry about, you should be worried about her. You should definitely be worried about her. What if we went on a date and I didn't ask you a single question and I only told you how much money I make? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? What if we fall madly in love, spend 2 years together, everyone thinks we're gonna get engaged, and then bam, I leave you for an Instagram model who's not even that cute in person?
Who's the actor that he looks like? Oh my God, I can't think of it now. There's an actor that his face looks like. He looks almost like an older version of that actor. I can't think of it.
How about that? So, I know we've been hanging out and things have been going really, really good. I definitely don't miss my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I do. I miss her, and I think about her sometimes when.
Wait, he doesn't look like an actor. Isn't this he's from a show. This is Casey from isn't this Casey from F-Boy Island or Temptation Island or one of these shows? One of these dating shows. This is Casey, right?
When we're sleeping next to each other. Oh God.
That's fabulous.
What if we hooked up and then just never spoke again? How about that?
But this is kind of funny because I'm sure that, not sure. This has happened to some of you, and I know this from the personal questions that we talk about, I get asked, and the questions that we have in Discord. For those of you who don't know, it's a show called F-Boy Island. As weird as it sounds, it's a dating show. It's not that popular, but I think it's actually pretty interesting. It's a dating show called F-Boy Island. His name is Casey. He was on that show. Okay, that's where I remembered his face from. I was thinking, where do I remember his face from?
Sister, crying about a man who did nothing for you is kind of scary. What did he do for you? What value did he add to your life? If you're going to be crying, at least cry about somebody who was doing something for you. At least cry about a man who was moving mountains for you. Was he doing anything for you? Was he paying a bill? Was he helping around the house?
Did he have a shrimp?
Was he relieving your stress? No. He was stressing you
What type of stress?
out more. He was actually manipulating you more. He was actually causing more anxiety. And you have the audacity to be sitting around crying about him? Baby girl, I need you to stand up. I need you to stand up and look in the mirror and say he was a loser and I romanticized the loser. That's the bottom line. You romanticized him and you created.
Chad, I want to ask you a question. I like interacting with you. I love this, actually, that I can interact with you guys more. For those of you who have ever been in a situation where, like, looking back on it, you're like, damn, like, that was such a waste of my time. If you were to really think to yourself, like, while you were in it, what was the reason you continued to be in it? Like, tell me in the chat, what was the reason you continued to be there despite the fact that he was doing nothing? Like, if you were just to think of where your mind was at that point.
Created an illusion in your head of what you wanted him to be, never of what he actually was. Because if a man comes into your life and he makes your life harder, your first instinct should be to fucking run. But us as women, we have a hard time accepting that. We want to take them in and heal them like they're our sons. He's not your son. He's not your problem. So dry them little tears. That man did nothing for you. Okay? You actually can do better by your damn self.
I see some of you saying fear of not having the connection at the beginning, the potential. Your self-respect was 0, okay? It's chasing my investment, lower standards, okay? The idea of him. That's quite interesting. And it's funny because I think that those experiences can make it easier to be in a relationship from a detached standpoint. What I mean, as weird as that sounds, you want to be in your relationships and you even want to date people from the standpoint of there's the me that's in this relationship and like dating you and like here with you, but there's also the me that's watching me and observing me and what's going on in the relationship that's also analyzing information and deciding what we're actually going to do. When you're less emotionally mature and you haven't had a lot of dating experience, the only version of you that shows up on these dates is like the version of you that's like present here. So that version of you wants to believe what it wants to believe, and it's very prone to falling prey to delusion, okay? But the version of you that stands, outside your body and watches and observes is very capable of observing, slicing things up, analyzing them, and figuring out what the best course of action is. So you kind of have to have part of you there, okay, present on the date, but you also have to have part of you outside the date, observing what's going on and being honest with yourself about what's going on. That way it prevents you from being delusional. I know I just gave a really abstract point there, but those of you that understand what I mean, understand what I mean.
Here's 3 weird things a guy does when he doesn't like you. If you're talking to a guy who doesn't like you and you mention another guy, he's going to tell you to go after that guy. Like, oh my God, I was at the gym and it turns out that this super jacked guy that I see all the time, I told you about him, right? Anyway, he's an arena football player. Oh yeah, you should go date that guy. I bet your kids will be really cute. He is not playing hard to get. He does not like you. A guy that likes you will be like, arena football? What a joke. They make less than pediatrician. Guys are hardwired.
I love it because that's what guys do. You can't, bro, let me tell you a little secret. As a guy, you can't big up the guy that's talking or the guy that's in her. If a guy DMs your girl or the girl that you like, the first thing you got, he's a bum. Why are you talking? You like bums? Oh, okay. I didn't know you were fond of bums. Bums get you horned up. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah. I don't think that guy. He don't make a lot of money. I be seeing him. I think the other day I seen him post a fake Rolex. Yeah, the fake watches. He probably broke. I don't know. Maybe you like broke guys with no money. I mean, I don't know. Me, I can't personally. I don't like to get my bank account under 100,000. But that's just me personally. I know everyone's a little bit. You gotta hate. You gotta throw shade on the guy she likes. What the hell?
Wired to brag about themselves, unfortunately, especially to a girl you like. So if you're talking to a guy and he's downplaying all of his achievements, even the big ones, he does not like you, and he wants you to not like him. So I heard that you started a company. That's so amazing. Oh yeah, no, it's honestly I've got 7 partners and none of them even really I don't even make that much money. I drive a Corolla. Leave that man alone. This is the biggest one. Guys who like you want to spend time with you. So if you mention that you're out somewhere or doing something, they're going to say that they wish they were there. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh, I'm going to hot Pilates. Oh, I'm going to a flower arranging contest. Oh man, I wish I was there. Does he really wish he was at a flower arranging contest with you? No, frankly, that's like being at Hobby Lobby, but wants to be with you, and that's the important thing. A guy who doesn't like you is just going to be like, huh.
I've gone to some of the strangest things before with a woman because it was with a woman. I'm trying to think of one of the really strange ones that I can actually tell you guys. I've gone to I can't tell you. Anyways, let's go on to the next one.
That woman don't want them dumbass good morning Texas. Good morning, beautiful. How did you sleep last night? That girl don't want that boring ass shit. Give her some directions. Tell her what to do. Tell her I'm gonna come see you on your lunch break.
This is the type of guy you guys want to come see you on your lunch break? No shade. I'm just asking. I don't know if this is okay. I'm just asking. You like guys like this to come see you on your lunch break? No shade. I'm just asking.
Tell her that. Send her some flowers up there or something. Pop up. Oh, boring ass good morning, take good morning, bro. She tired of hearing that shit. She hear that shit from everybody, my boy. You gonna let a man in a Nike ski, man, outdo you with your old lady? All right. Girl, I don't want to hear that boring ass shit. Good morning. You draining a social battery, my boy.
He sounds like a great guy. He's got a good head on his shoulders. It looks like he's at work too. So he got a job, got a check coming in. I told you guys, that's no shade. You guys be thinking I'm throwing shade. Like, I'm bigging up him. This is a good video. And I like this. If he's cold, the ski mask is the vibe. You know, and I personally, I'm not a ski mask type of guy, but everyone's a little bit different.
And you wonder why she don't take your ass back.
Tell me, chap, what would you rather? A guy who will send you a good morning text every day, or a guy who will take you out on dates every week? Which one matters to you more, or which one are you more fond of? Okay, I'm really actually genuinely curious, right? Or let's say even two, if he's taking you on dates every week, he's not texting you a good morning at all. Which one matters to you guys more? I'm very curious. Okay, I see some people say dates. I've seen some people say text every day, so it's not a conciseness, right? Even let's assume that on these dates, right, in between them, he's not messaging you. Okay, would you rather just get taken out on the dates and never message him, or message him all the time and never go out on dates? Okay. People say dates every week. Dates are the only thing that matters. Interesting. Okay, so if we're thinking to ourselves, dates are the only thing that really matters, then that's what we should be striving for at all points of time, right? I see some people say communication as well, so it's not all one-sided, but that's very interesting to me. Okay. Sorry, the sexy red's gonna get me copyrighted. What is this going on? When I finally get the chance to show him how fast I can detach and ignore a person while he thinks I'm obsessed. Okay. I tell you guys, date from a detached standpoint, right? Date someone, like them, but if they show you things that you're not wanting to see or not wanting to get in a relationship with them after seeing those things, then you take yourself out of that situation. It's not meant to be a mean thing or a rude thing. You'll have to be looking out for your own happiness first, okay? Someone said this is very much a Gen Z flex.
Closure? This is the closure. The lack of respect.
Wait, what?
You are looking for closure? This is the closure. The lack of respect was closure. The lack
Is that my auntie?
of apology was closure. The lack of care was closure. The lack of accountability was closure. The lack of honesty was closure. The lack of empathy was closure. The lack of integrity was closure. The lack of remorse was closure. Sometimes the only closure you need is the understanding that you deserve better.
Oh my gosh, this is like a 3D movie. She's gonna like jump through the screen.
You are looking for closure?
But in all seriousness, she is right. Sometimes closure can become like a trap. And what I mean by it can become a trap is you can start to think to yourself, oh, I just need to return him to his stuff. I just need to get this one thing from him. I hate this one. I just need to get my money back. I spent $1,000 on him or $100 on him, and I need to get my money back for these tickets. We were supposed to go to this place, and I bought tickets for him, and I'm just supposed to I want him to return my money to me, or I want him to return this gift that I gave him, or whatever the case may be. And you're thinking, until I do that, then we'll actually end. All of that will actually make it harder for you to move forward in your life. And trust me, the guys who are trying to keep you there and keep you wanting and needing more and never allowing you to properly move on, they will hold that for as long as possible so that you never quite feel closure. That way they always have a way back into your life, okay? Especially if you're in a situation where you don't have any kids with that man and you never were married to him, you have no ties with him after you walk out of his life. You really want to make sure you cut all of those ties or reasonings for him coming back into your life or you having to come back into his life. And if he owes you money, just go ahead and mark that as a loss. Okay. Go ahead and pick up an extra shift and make that money back and forget about it. Ain't no get your money back. That's a vicious trap. You'll just keep going back to him, talking to him over and over again, sleeping with him, and you ain't gonna get no money back. Don't bother, right? Someone said file a lawsuit. If it's that serious, file yourself a damn lawsuit. Okay. Get yourself a lawyer if you really care about the money that much. If it don't matter that much, then don't even bother worrying about it. All right. All right, chat. Let's move on to our next segment of the day. I got lots of energy today. I feel really energized. Do you feel energized? I feel energized, chat. All right, let's hop into our next segment of the day. You guys should know what this is. It's a very amazing time. It's an awesome time. It's a time where you're going to laugh and cry. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your clock. Don't look at your phone. And don't look nowhere else in your whole damn home. If you don't know the time yet, I'm going to tell you the time, okay? Oh my God. Look how much I've been sweating for you guys. That is insane. Discord time. Someone said shrimp time? Absolutely not. We don't do shrimps around here. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's go on to the best time of the day. It's Discord time. All right, chat. So for those of you who don't know how this works, I'm going to explain this to you real quick. Discord time is where all the amazing members of our Players Club community get an opportunity to ask me a question about their situationship or relationship, and I answer it live on the show. Let me pull it up here, okay? For those of you who want to send me in your question, I'm going to explain to you the different ways in which you can send in your question. So first way numero uno. You can send it in by going to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description. Go to where it says Players Club Discord, and then you drop your question in our free relationship advice section. You see we have various different messages here, including one about OnlyFans models, which we will get to. And all of these different questions that have been highlighted are questions I haven't gotten to yet. So I don't like my vagina. We already did that one. I have to get to these questions first before I can get to yours, but if you don't want to wait for me to have to go through the queue, you can skip the line of people by going into our other place where, we have lots in here. You can ask questions, which is our premium relationship advice section. Now, this section is like a skip the line pass because when you get into this section, I read these ones first before I go into our free section. So the way you do that is going to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Click where it says premium Discord relationship advice, and then you donate to the show. And when you donate to the show, it's going to prompt you before you can finish donating. It's going to tell you to send in your Discord username and the title of your question. So make sure it's the same title that you're going to make it here. I get a notification on my phone and I see that that's you. And when I'm able to see that that's you, I read out your question here and it keeps it fair for everyone. Now, if you want to send me in a question because you want to get my advice, but you don't want me to read it out live on the show, you can also do that. And the way that you do that is by sending me in a private relationship advice question. Okay. That's available in our Discord. It's also available in the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. You send it in to me, you type your message out. I get it, and then I send you back a voice message, and it goes back to your email. No one else sees it, and I don't read it out on the show. So you have multiple different options here. Let's start off with our first. Let me just clear these out. No, I think this is one we had to do today. Okay, we're gonna start off with our first question here of the day. Yes, I haven't done this one. This was the one I was supposed to do from yesterday. Okay, so let's start off today with Anon, who says, am I a spoiled brat or is he a child? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Hi, Tomisin. I appreciate your valuable advice on dating, which aligns with my views. I'm glad. You have a great sense of humor and are straightforward. So I want your thoughts on my situation. By the way, I have ADHD, so I'm sorry if my storytelling is somewhat chaotic. I have added additional information at the bottom to be as detailed as possible. I'm 27, dating a 24-year-old man. I discovered your channel 3 weeks ago, around the time we started dating. After connecting on Facebook, we quickly hit it off and met the next day for an 8-hour date. He seems serious about a relationship leading to marriage within a year. We are both Muslim, so moving fast into marriage is the norm. Okay? Are you strict though? So you're both pretty strict about it? Okay. He was mentioning he ended a previous relationship about 4 months ago because his ex was hesitant to introduce him to her family and he didn't want to be strung along. Okay. So let me just explain this to you for some of you who aren't aware of Muslim culture. So in Muslim culture, you're supposed to, before you even start kissing or even holding hands in public, you're supposed to be engaged first. So it's not, how, the regular, most of us do it where we're, kissing and touching and sleeping together before we get married. It's the opposite way. And it's very strict. So not even a kiss, not even holding hands, you're supposed to be doing before you get engaged. So there's a lot of pressure that, hey, if we like each other and we, can see us being together, let's get engaged. It's not a waiting game of, many, many years. So I'm just explaining that to you guys so you guys understand that this is not abnormal. However, he admitted to cheating on his first girlfriend 3 times. What? Just after I just explained how strict it is. After I just explained that. I should also explain that some people aren't as strict with the religion as others. So let me throw that in there clearly, okay? With 3 different girls he met while working as a security guard, okay? He said it was during a low period in his life with bad mental health, and he did it as an escape, okay? He's not supposed to be doing that. I'll just let you guys know, okay? That's not supposed to be happening. 3 years ago, he says he regrets it a lot and would never repeat it, and that he felt so bad when she found out and it led to the end of their relationship. He did not cheat on the next girl and the most recent ex. Okay. Red flag? Are you asking me if cheating on a girl 3 times with 3 different girls is a red flag? Are you asking me that? Is that your question? I believe cheating reflects a lack of respect and empathy. Fair. Additionally, he didn't open my car door, and when I jokingly brought it up, he said he saves princess treatment for his future wife. And will do it once the relationship becomes more serious over time. This made me feel awkward and less than. Sorry, let's pause this here. Just because, I have like a little kink for calling out hypocrisy. So he was willing to sleep with a woman that's not his wife, but opening the car door and giving princess treatment is something only saved for his wife. Okay, well, interesting. He tried to kiss me, and I declined, saying that I don't kiss on a first date. Fair. He was taken aback at first, but are we not both Muslim here? What's going on? And said he liked it and he respected me for it. Funny how that works. On our second date, again, didn't open my door. When I reminded him, he reluctantly did it, but joked about not wanting his friends to see him act like a simp. Oh my God. Oh my God. This type of stuff, this and the video games, this stuff grinds my gears. Okay. Because this whole stupid, it's like kids. This whole stupid, it's simp if you do things for a girl. Oh my God. I don't want to get mad. We're straight heterosexual men. We like feminine women. Doing things for a woman you like, who actually you're in a relationship with, is not a crime. if, let's just, because you're all women here, if you're with a guy who starts talking in, ways like this, oh, it's simp if I do this for you, simp if I do that for you, please just distance yourself from him, because he's not in the mental state to even be dating. He's too obsessed with what guys think of him or what the popular talk around town is. He's too brainwashed to actually be in a healthy relationship. Because if as a man, your sole focus is on, oh my God, if I do anything for you, other guys are going to see me as a simp, and that's your girlfriend you're talking about, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you're only going to be more frustrated trying to fight against that. Because cool, yeah, it's simp if you're, sending $1,000 on OF to a girl who you're never going to meet and doesn't know your name. That's simp behavior, sure. But if you're talking about treating a girl right who is acknowledging herself to be your girlfriend and also likes you the same amount that you like her and wants a future with you as well, that is absolutely childish and ridiculous. Okay, is that my stomach? And just distance yourself from men like that. I'll just be real with you. Made me hesitant to mention it again. However, before he came to pick me up for this date, I asked him to get a specific type of mint from the gas station, okay? They did not have the lemon flavor I asked for, so he got me the strawberry flavor. And another type of mint with lemon flavor, so he could still show me he did his best. Okay, fair. When he faced car trouble before our third date, I offered to pick him up at the train station halfway. Why not just take an Uber? Because I was hesitant to be too accommodating. Why couldn't you guys just take an Uber? Is it that far? Me offering to meet him halfway might have made him feel too comfortable, I am afraid. Before the fourth date, a planned shopping trip, the date was a shopping trip, okay? He asked me to drive him to save him, to save him time as he was running late due to prior engagements, which frustrated me. I expressed that it didn't make sense for me to go given the limited time, and suggested rescheduling. But my real frustration was him asking me to drive my butt over to him. It's a 38-minute drive. Okay. He said he was so he wants you to drive him, pick him up and then take him to where you guys are going as well. He said he was disappointed that I wasn't being cooperative, to which I said it felt like him not going out of his way to pick me up is lacking in effort, in addition to not opening my car door without me mentioning it every time. He then accused me of asking far too much. I started pulling back after that. He said he will start opening doors. He will start opening doors once he trusts me 100% and I become his girlfriend. Chat, what are you going to say to a man who says he's going to open car doors for you when you become his girlfriend? You going to accept that? This is ridiculous. And that I am expecting too much in this stage. He literally said he will not do it even after I told him it's my expectation from a man. I said I need space and I started ignoring him after. He's been calling frequently, trying to talk. I don't answer and frustratingly texted every few hours. Please, can we talk? So this is him texting you that. What are you doing ignoring me? It's not okay. If you are going to ghost me, just say so and I will leave you alone. I really want us to resolve this. Should I ignore him or respond? I feel I've made my stance clear and explaining it may be counterproductive, but I feel bad for ghosting him. Apart from this, I like to be around him a lot. Okay. So it's not that I don't like you. I want to, keep it fair. This is a long message. I want to kind of skip ahead and skim through this second part I know you try to add details, but just to, so we don't spend too much time on the question, because his expectations come off as too busy, right? So you're still kind of talking about the same situation. Also, he was hiding 3 unopened Insta DMs. What? This is very strange. Okay. To make my standard clear, I told him how I went back inside one time and refused it when a guy refused to open my car door. So you made it clear, okay? So these are additional facts here. We are only kissing, no heavy petting. He initiates every call and conversation. I keep messages short. All right. And hasn't asked about what? Fully respect. We talked about it the next day and hasn't asked me about pineapples, past sins. In my religion, it's mandatory to conceal past sins. Oh, okay. They are between you and God alone. So his nosiness annoyed me. Okay. In him asking you. All right. Let's kind of answer what you want. Okay. You said here, update, he kept begging me to respond. So after 21 messages, 5 missed calls, I felt so bad. I asked my friend for advice and she advised me to say something. So I replied, I have to think, to which he said, I am disappointed that you are acting like this. I plan to wait for your advice before I say anything else because this feels like guilt tripping me and I won't fall for it. He's saying he won't fall for it, but he's messaging you 21 times and calling you 5 times. Okay. He has not apologized for invalidating my standards by saying I am over exaggerating. So now I feel like I have replied too fast, even though I ghosted him for 36 hours. This is all in 36 hours, the 21 messages and 5 missed calls. Okay. Okay. What is best to do from here? Okay. Here's the thing. And I'll be super real with you. What you're suffering from is a difference in approach to relationships. I'm not even going to be the person to say whether it's right or wrong that he should or shouldn't open the car door for you. Because the reality of it is you can still have a good relationship with a man who doesn't open a car door for you. However, him opening the car door for you or his unwillingness to do so speaks to his mind state. And his reasoning for not wanting to do so speaks to the way that he feels about you or about this relationship. That he is so obsessed with, first of all, not looking like a simp, that he doesn't want to overextend himself in this relationship. He doesn't want to do too much for you, right? He doesn't want to invest too much in you. Okay. So the reason that I say the car door is a big deal in this sense is because it actually represents the way that he wants to go about this relationship versus the way that you want to go about this relationship. How you expect to be treated is a function of what you desire out of a relationship. So if you and him are totally misaligned in what you desire out of a relationship and what he desires out of a relationship and how he expects one to look that he's in, then you have to realize that no matter how much you want each other, want to be with each other, want to sleep with each other, none of that matters if you guys aren't working towards the same common goal. And the common goal is not just necessarily us being in a relationship. The common goal is we both want to be in a relationship that looks like this, right? That feels like this, that I get treated like this and I treat my person like this. If you both aren't in agreement of what that is and where that goal is and how you're going to get there, you'll never be able to get there. So what's happening here in your situation is you have 2 different goals. Your goal is over here. I want a guy to give me princess treatment, open the car doors for me, be a gentleman and things like that. And his goal is, I don't want to be a simp. I want my girl to serve me. She better not guilt trip me. And I don't need to be apologizing for things that I didn't do. And she should just be there, be available to me and answer my questions and speak when spoken to. Those are 2 different types of relationships. Maybe that type of relationship might work for a different woman, but that's not you. And so you have to accept and realize that what he wants out of a relationship is not you. And you're not in the business of trying to convince him that he should treat you this way. If he doesn't feel it's necessary to treat you that way, then you take a step back and you say, perfect, thank you so much for your time and letting me know exactly how you feel. I will be taking my ball, my dump truck, my personality, my spirit, my amazing soul and mind and taking it somewhere else. Not with you and not spending it on you. And it should be as simple as that, because I don't personally think if he has not yet apologized to you for what he's done and his response is, you're trying to guilt trip me and I'm not going to fall for it, and he hasn't even acknowledged what he's done wrong or that he wants to make a change in his behavior, he's not even in the mental state for anything to change. He just wants to argue back and forth and believe that he's right. So talking to someone who just wants to believe that they're right and isn't trying to make any sort of change or adjustment is a waste of your time. Okay. I'm not saying that you're perfect or, that you haven't done anything that may have upset him as well, but there should be a desire to say, I want to know what you have a problem with. I want to understand you and I want us to come to a compromise. That doesn't sound like the mindset he's bringing here. So I don't think there's any reason to entertain a conversation with him at that point. Okay. And I don't even think that you guys are aligned in what you want. All right. Let's go on to our next question. Okay. I think she's trying to edit her stuff here. Okay. Is this salvageable? Emma says. All right. Hi, Tomisin. I dated a guy for 6 to 7 months. It ended 2 years ago. The relationship was good, especially in the beginning. He was chasing hard, but over time, as I got more invested, I felt him pulling away, and I didn't feel the relationship was progressing to the next level, meeting families, and I hadn't met his daughter. Okay, and also no solid girlfriend or boyfriend titles. So 6 to 7 months, no. Okay, girlfriend boyfriend titles. All right, we're inching into. That's kind of strange territory. So I decided to break up with him. But a month later, he sends me a text saying he has been seeing someone and I might hear about it. So he wanted to tell me first. I felt sick when I heard this. I knew it must be someone famous, as he is in the entertainment industry. It was an A-lister. Okay. All right. So for 7 to 8 months, I could not stop seeing them in the newspaper, Insta feeds, everywhere. I then got obsessive, oh boy, with looking at paparazzi pics, and I didn't feel like I could stop. This is horrible. This is horrible for your mental state. Okay. This is like the worst thing that could happen to your mental state. I used all my will to stop looking and invest in myself, but it took months. Then, when I felt I had finally let him go, he emailed me. Forgot to block on email. He had broken up with the famous girl. He broke up with the famous girl. He broke up with the famous girl, the A-lister. Yeah. It was too tempting, so I met him. What? What? I wanted to reject him. Oh my God. I wanted to reject him and show I didn't care. Like I tell you guys, chat, the way you show men that you've moved forward is by moving forward. The way you show men that they've lost you is by actually having them lose you. Not being available to them, not going on a date with, you're not, okay, let me let you in on a secret here, okay? You have in your mind that you're like gonna go on this date and wear this really beautiful dress or these really tight pair of jeans. And when he sees your beautiful dump truck, when he sees your amazing body, he's gonna realize that he wants to be with you, and then you're gonna be able to reject him. That's not actually how this works. If he's actually lost out on you and you really want him to feel that, you don't message him back at all. You're only playing yourself. You're thinking you're going to like tempt him or like yesterday's message, seduce him, but you're only going to end up having him seduce you. But also tell me how he was, I show him, reject him, and I'll show him that I don't care, but also tell him how he hurt me. That doesn't work. That's literally contradictory. I know that's a big mistake. He apologized, and I thought to never see him again. But, of course there's a but. He started messaging me, and I engaged. That's a choice. I don't think I was over him. You were never, no. But more than anything, my self-esteem had taken a nosedive because I felt this famous girl was somehow better than me and more desirable, and I desperately wanted to somehow regain my self-esteem around that. Anyhow, in the last year, I have seen him 4 times with pineapples. Let me just take a break. I'm just gonna stand up, gonna stretch a little bit. You guys know, right? Gonna take a break. Gonna stretch it out, cause I know it's tough, right? It's tough to see someone that you were once happy with be happy with someone else, but that's not the way to do that, right? I understand you're trying to better your self-esteem, but let me stretch first. Let me stretch first. strength, give me strength, give me strength. All right. Realign myself. Okay. I know that you're trying to recover your self-esteem here and you want to feel better about yourself. But the way to do that is not by sleeping with the same man who rejected you already and moved on to another girl and is basically coming back to you as sloppy seconds or lasts. Because I've heard enough stories from people to understand there's a certain way things go when they're actually true, and there's a certain way things go when they're untrue. What I mean by that is, sure, it's possible that the A-list celebrity woman he was dating, despite the fact that he's a nobody, it's possible that he broke up with her. Possible. What's more than likely, though, especially considering the fact that he came right back to you afterwards, is that the A-list amazing celebrity that he was once dating threw him to the curb and started dating someone else, or just didn't want him anymore. And after that, when he realized he couldn't access her anymore, is when he came running back to you. That's what more than likely happened, okay? And for you to respond to that with, I'm going to sleep with you after you coming back to me, okay, is very silly. Because you're not going to feel any better about yourself doing that. Let's go on. Thinking that I could just enjoy some wild nights. What? Why would you? Okay. Although ultimately knowing that's not the setup I want. So why would you say that you want to enjoy that? It has hurt me less and less over time, though. During this year, I have done so much healing, therapy, exercise, and work on myself, my home, family, friends, etc. So I'm way stronger than before, and I have a support system that is solid, and I don't need that from a man anymore. And I started enjoying being single, as you should have been doing the whole time. So in the last few days, he wants to meet again. I hope your question, what is the title of your question? I hope you're not going to ask me, should I meet with him again? I hope you're not going to use up the whole question and that's what you're going to ask. Haven't seen or spoken for 3 months. I have used your techniques of pulling back and giving nothing or super minimal responses. I've changed the times to suit me. I have said no to last minute plans, and he is starting to pursue me and set up dates and times like he did in the beginning. But I still don't know how serious he is with me. And this is my question. How can I find out in a short amount of time, finally, if he has long-term interest or not? You're asking a very oxymoronic question. Not moronic meaning stupid, like oxymoron, meaning these are contradictory in their nature. What techniques should I use? I want to finally either move on or build something with him with the knowledge we are both into the relationship and serious about it. P.S. I did sleep with him on the second night when I first met him. He was a blind date setup. Okay. By a very good mutual friend of ours. Usually I wouldn't do that. But because he had said I would never live with a woman, what? I thought this guy is not serious, so I thought I would just sleep with him one night as he is super hot and then never see him again, but that's when he super pursued me like crazy. I don't want to get upset. I think he is an avoidant, finds it hard to commit, and has a pattern of 7 months with a girl, or when she tries to progress the relationship, he ends it. He has also said he wants a relationship, didn't say it with me, but doesn't think he is good at them. What are you doing? I care about you, I love you, and I want to see you win. But I have to call you out when I feel like you're acting very irresponsibly. The reason I say that is because it's very interesting how this happens. And this is why Discord time is such a magical time. In your message asking me what you should do and how you should proceed, you're actually acknowledging the detailed reasons as to why he is not a good partner for you and not someone you should be choosing to be in your life, not someone you should be investing your time in, right? You're telling me, like in your own message, he has said he wants a relationship with other women, but not with me. He's also said to me that he doesn't think he's good at relationships. And in other parts of your message, you're acknowledging how he's not what you are looking for. And you don't think you can take him seriously. You went in detail about that. And then you're asking me what you should do with a man who you're saying yourself you don't see yourself being with, or you don't think possesses the qualities for a long-term relationship. Okay, what I need you to understand is you cannot make your criteria for dating a man, because I think this is what's happening to you. He's cool, he's hot, he's sexy, he's tall, he can lift weight. But your criteria for dating a man has become, is he interested in me? That's like, it's become your criteria. Is he hot? And is he interested in me? Because that's all I need to be with a man. That's what essentially is happening here. Because you are saying to yourself, oh, he's hot, so I'll just sleep with him because I don't care, right? I don't care about how I look. I don't care about what this is. Your friend set you up on a blind date. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just telling you the reality, right? Your friend set you up on a blind date. And after she set you up on a blind date, you decided that, hey, I'm not going to take this seriously anyway, so I'll just sleep with him because I'm not going to take this serious. And now you're finding yourself in a conundrum because the action of doing that has led him to probably not take you as seriously and to just treat you very weird and off. And on top of that, he's not even the type of guy you're actually looking for. You're acknowledging the ways that he's not possessing the qualities that you want in a man. So then what is the question here? Why are you asking me what you should do, or if you should entertain a man who you're telling me yourself doesn't possess the qualities that you want in a relationship? You have to start understanding that the happiness you're actually looking for is your own. And so when you're dating men, you don't date them because they're hot and they pursue you. You should have the mind state and be in the mind frame that a lot of men will be dying to pursue me. They'll all want to crawl on glass and sniff my butthole. It's not magic, right? It's because I'm desirable. But just because they're hot and they desire me, that's not the extent of my criteria. My criteria is so much more about their character, the way they treat me, their mindset, their stability, their financial stability, all of that other stuff that I factor into who I'm looking for, not just people saying they like me and then I'm mesmerized by the fact that someone likes me and then I decide to be with them. Okay? So I say that to say, I don't think that you need to entertain anything going on with this man, because for two reasons. One, he had his opportunity to date you and treat you right, and he chose to not do that. So there goes your opportunity. He had plenty of time to come to his realizations, to work on himself, to do what was necessary for the relationship. He chose not to. He chose to be in a relationship with the A-lister, okay? That was his choice. Now, and the second reason, right, here that's important to take notice of, now that magically his relationship has ended with this A-lister, all of a sudden he wants to come back to you, whether it be because he broke up with her or whether it be because the more likely situation, she broke up with him, it doesn't matter. He had his opportunity to do right by you and the relationship, and he didn't care enough to do that. You can't stick around and act as if your life goes on pause for these guys while they can go out and live their life and do whatever they want. Because unfortunately, when he comes back to you like this after treating you that way, he's only going to realize that I can do it again. He's not going to think to yourself, damn, I should really take care of her and actually, put my best foot forward in this relationship. I can guarantee you, if he's saying himself he's not good at relationships, then he's probably not going to be a good at this one with you. So then why even bother going on a date or entertaining him in the first place? I'll let you answer that question for yourself. All right. Let's go on to our next question. Okay. This one says, Christmas present for our first Christmas together. Tizan. Okay, we'll say Tizan. Hi, I'm dating an older man and we live together. Everything in our relationship is easy, gentle, and aligned. Okay, sounds good so far. This is our first Christmas together. And I told him sweetly that he doesn't need to worry about Christmas this year. Okay. Because every day is like Christmas with him. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I wonder why you're sending in your message. He said that he will get me something. My question is, should I give him hints of what I definitely want, or just let him take the lead and be surprised by what he gets me? And should I get him something? So far, I've gotten him socks. Okay. So you've been dating this guy. You didn't mention how long you've been dating him, right? Because you could have started dating him this year and you just started dating him since November. So that's, Christmas gift's not going to be that big a deal. But if you have been dating him since January, right, that's totally different. Someone said 7 months. Where did she say? Did she say 7 months? Did she say 7 months? Oh, you're in the chat there. 7 months. Okay. So this is your question. 7 months. All right. So thank you for that. So 7 months dating, I would say, yeah, Christmas presents are good. Now, the advice that I give you guys, and for those of you who are ever curious, how do I gift a man and things like that? The advice I always give you guys when it comes to giving good gifts to men, especially if he's a man that he has like resources and money that he can do anything he wants really with his money, my better advice to you is to give him an experience. So if you want to give him a good Christmas gift, pay for an experience that you guys can share together. Okay, I know it sounds a little bit like what? Because if a guy is doing well enough for himself that he could theoretically get him anything that you bought for him, and assuming that he doesn't have any like really intense needs at that moment, getting an experience with him is a good way to have it be like a bonding moment for both of you, but also be like a memory for the two of you. And there's no price that you can put on memories, right? Because him being able to spend some quality time with you in a way that is, either relaxing or it gets to take him out of his comfort zone, that memory will always be more valuable than you just getting him a pair of socks or even like a t-shirt that he could buy himself. You understand what I mean? Because, to be honest with you, sometimes you might get someone something like a t-shirt, a pair of socks, a hat, and they may or may not ever even wear it. But the experience is always going to be able to be memorable. And it's on top of that, it's going to be tied to you. Okay. So especially doubly awesome because that experience of you guys bonding together, he'll remember you for it and he'll remember that time that he was able to spend with you. So if you can make it something really interesting or something really that will stand out in their mind, especially, so that's where you kind of have to understand their personality. That will be really good because now that experience that stands out in their mind will be tied to you. Okay. So someone said examples. It could be something like, as extreme as skydiving or bungee jumping. I know that's not everyone's thing. Okay, so you're right. Or it could just be something simple in terms of stepping out of their comfort zone. Like it could be, let's say you guys go out, you get a couples massage or something like that. Or someone said horseback riding. I actually did that myself recently. I went horseback riding. So horseback riding, maybe he's never gone on a horse before, right? It could be an escape room. Someone said, you guys are so smart. See, you guys know when you put on your thinking caps, you all know you're very smart. Someone said hiring a private chef. I mean, sure, right? Axe throwing, that's another one. Okay, I don't even need to say, you guys are very smart, right? So those experiences can be unique enough where, especially when you kind of get to step outside of your comfort zone and do something you haven't regularly done, those are really memorable because, when you do something you don't regularly do, you remember, you're fond of that memory because it's just a very unique experience. Okay, right? Axe throwing, a romantic picnic, go-kart racing. You guys know the shooting range. Yeah, if he likes guns, he's into that. That could be something as well. On top of that too, especially if he enjoys it or it's something he already enjoys too, doing it with him. So for example, if he's a big gun guy and you go to a shooting range with him, oh boy, that's better than anything you could get him because him liking you and loving you and being able to do something that he already loves with you as an experience that you take him to and you participate in and you're excited about, oh boy, that is the gift that is worth $1 million to even the men with $1 million. Okay. Because that's something that I love you and I love the thing that we're doing and we're doing it together and you're excited about it because you're the one that, brought us to it. That's more than enough, as a gift. That's repayment for years and years to come. All right, chat. That's the show for today. Let me make sure I answer some of these some of these questions here, these super chats. Oh, it's there was just one super chat here from Electric Feel. She says donates $5. She says this is the stretch button. Thank you, Electric Feel. Yeah, I had to get up and stretch there. All right, chat. I hope you guys got value from that. I hope you guys got some entertainment from that, learned something a little bit, right, in today's lesson. For those of you who want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just above my head on the top left corner of the screen. For those of you who are on TikTok, it's Tomisin_Tub. And for those of you who are on YouTube and you want to, those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show, you can go onto my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Tomisin Atobatele. Type it in on YouTube, go into the live section, and you can rewatch the entire show along with all the other live streams I've done since the beginning of time. You get the YouTube chat and the TikTok chat embedded in the video. Also, for those of you who want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram, for those of you on YouTube or that are watching, is in the link in my description there. Just go there and you can see my Instagram and all that good stuff. All right. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be here again tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. You got to figure out what time that is in your time zone. Until we meet again, I will bid you adieu. I got to add that one. Arrivederci, goodbye, hasta la vista, sayonara, ciao, salam. Bon voyage! And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Bye-bye. For now. Just for now. Won't be long. We'll be together.